Grab your swimsuit and a big bucket of popcorn as special guest Laurel Lunceford is here to help us wade through all the cinematic summer waters as we highlight some of the notable big upcoming movies ready to hit the Cineplex this upcoming summer. We spotlight some of the smaller films that could find a pulse and pinpoint those high-profile theatrical re-releases that are sure to excite. And Lunce's list highlights the best of the best projects that include Zendaya. As Challengers has opened wide here at the end of April, we will tell you why love and tennis are terms that might actually not pair together too well for the characters involved in this film, but sure give the audience plenty to discuss. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown, presented by MyBookie and broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know that makes sound a meltdown. It's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown. Let's start the show.
As always, we value all of our Meltdonians here on the program and are so thankful for you working to push our subscriber base past that 2,000 mark, which we're hoping to accomplish by the end of the summer. Summer will be a big-time topic of discussion today on The Meltdown. Couldn't do it without my co-host. That is Mr. John Lunceford. John, you watch a lot of streaming content, correct?
I do, yes.
Have you heard about the plan with Disney Plus that they're going to bring live channels to their streaming service in the coming weeks, similar to old school TV channels and the increasingly popular FAST channels from Pluto TV, Tubi, and the Roku channel? The report claims there will be a variety of channels for different brands or genres, including a Star Wars channel and a Marvel channel that just plays a loop of things within those cinematic universes. Are you a fan of this? Or because selecting things becomes a huge time waster when you log onto these streaming services trying to find the right thing to watch?
Yeah, I mean, it does become a time waster when I sit there and scroll through. I'll usually find something to stop on, but like, it's kind of weird that you can just turn on a Marvel channel and it'll just be playing a random MCU movie where you could specifically go find something. It's like, I don't want to watch Black Widow. I want to go watch Endgame. And so then it's like, well, I turn on that channel and I wasted even more time because it's something I don't want to watch. And then I got to go find whatever it is. I thought you were going to say like they're going to add like you can just watch ESPN like through Disney Plus, which makes a little more sense. Or add like the Disney Channel to it, because then maybe when something plays new before it pops up on Disney Plus, that makes sense. Just saying, hey, all this content we already have, we're just going to put it on a loop on a live channel that then you're going to have to waste more time because it's something you don't want to watch. I don't really know about that.
I think it's one of those things where it hopefully gets you revved up to spend not only more time on the service, but maybe inspire you to make your next choice. So if you go click on the Marvel channel and it's showing you something that you're like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood for Winter Soldier now. You'll go over and watch that.
As long as it says what is currently playing. Is like once you hover over it, it says currently playing Captain America Winter Soldier. I'm more of a Thor guy. I'm going to go watch Ragnarok instead.
These channels will reportedly feature a continuous scheduled stream of shows, just like you'd find on the Disney Channel or ABC. Tyler, welcome into the program, sir. Is that something that would excite you as a fan of streaming content?
Yes and no. Not for Disney, but I have used other streaming channels like that. Samsung TV has one if you just connect your Samsung Smart TV to the internet. Like you said, the Roku channel has it. And some of them aren't bad. There's actually an old wrestling channel that shows just old matches from the 80s and 90s. I got to see a Ric Flair match the other day getting ready for work.
There's a game show one, too, that shows just old game shows. Same kind of thing that we've watched. But, like, also, I don't even know even remotely how to find a lot of that stuff necessarily. So, like, you know, I love watching Match Game. Well, there's not just, like, a dedicated place to go. Maybe there is. I don't know. But, like, how exactly do I go find specific Match Game episodes when it first started back in the 60s? I don't know.
I oddly was watching the Match Game last night. I don't know why, but I thought of you because you absolutely love the Match Game. Laurel Lunceford, that is who you have matched up with in the game of life, and we are thrilled. I thought I'd go ahead and get ahead of it before John starts saying all that stuff. But Laurel, thank you for spending your time here with us on the Meltdown yet again. For some reason, you keep coming back.
Because y'all are just too much fun.
Oh.
This is fun. F-U-N.
I didn't know where you were going with that. But thank you so much.
You too, yeah.
Hey, you got a chance to see the movie Challengers with us earlier this week. It is now out in wide release officially today. Is Challengers a movie that you recommend to people?
Oh, yes. I'm shocked that y'all liked it as much as you did. I am shocked that you liked it because you normally hate everything like that I ever say, hey, this is something from it has a very 90s vibe to it. Like a very 90s, I don't know. It was very Cruel Intentions. Like I felt like this and Saltburn were very much in that same vein. And, you know, I'm a Cruel Intentions girl, so I loved it. Ate this up too. But I'm surprised that y'all liked it as much as you did.
John.
Sorry, I sneezed.
You okay?
Yeah.
Whew, that was intense. There's a lot about Challengers that is intense, but like I brought up in our spoiler review, which is up on the channel for you to view right now, it's not intense from the standpoint of there's some sort of death or there's some sort of weapon or physical violence or an abusive figure or an alcoholic, or like it's got a bunch of elements in it that are earned, and all of the conflict feels earned in this movie.
And I also hope that people don't go into it thinking it's gonna be like Wild Things, because I feel like people might be getting the gist of that, and it is not like that, like whatsoever.
I would hope people have seen enough of Zendaya to know she has never really been like that. That then, I mean, this is probably the most we've seen from her, so I will say that. But it's not like, you know, you watch Euphoria and then go see anyone but you, like you see Sydney Sweeney or something. You don't need to go into movies expecting that kind of stuff.
This thing doesn't take it to that level, but it is a very sultry performance. There's a lot there on the screen going on for sure. And if anybody demands that they need their ticket money back from the manager because they didn't get what they paid for here, you know, I can't imagine what that conversation would be like. But I assume being a theater manager,
there's no false advertising of what happens in the trailer. I mean.
We talked about candles on the most recent episode of The Meltdown, and I felt bad for not having my boy Tyler Johns in on that conversation because on 10 with Tim, I had the question of which scented candle is your least favorite scent? And Tyler, I really need you to provide some clarification here because it's created a little bit of an argument in the office because I typically like the sugary smelling candles, and EG hates them. Tyler, where do you stand on this?
So I really like vanilla scents. Those are my favorite, honestly. But with the sugary scents, it can't be too strong. Sometimes you get like the strawberry shortcake scented one, and it just is overpowering, and it's too much. So can't go with those, but a nice vanilla or vanilla mixed with lavender is always good, or like a cinnamon vanilla.
Nice little birthday cake.
That's good,
Yeah.
You know, speaking,
But least favorite for me is like the sandalwood sort of scents, pine and all that. I don't really like.
I'm actually kind of with you on that. I don't like rosemary.
Yeah.
Like that flavor, like that
like
smell.
rosemary.
Like I don't know anything that is like a tree. I don't really care.
I have a candle that smells like Blockbuster. It doesn't really, to me.
Smells awful.
I don't.
what does it smell like? Burning plastic VHS tapes or what?
I mean, you go on Etsy and you can buy any type of. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I feel like the audience doesn't care that there is the most sought after candle on Etsy is actually there's a candle that's supposed to smell like Jacob Elordi's bathwater and Saltburn.
Saltburn, which we also talked about. Like.
I'm just going to take a nice swig of this.
I will say, my wife is the queen of like, hey, this one smells like Jason Voorhees. It's like, I don't want to smell that, but it's a cool movie. Like it's a thing, right?
And it melts into like a little like hockey mask. Yeah.
I feel like there's like Laurel and Nike both have the same sentiment when it comes to getting John to do it. Just do it.
It's fine.
Just come
it's
on,
fine.
do it.
Yeah.
And who's wearing the Nikes and who's not wearing the Nikes right now?
Okay. Laurel, there's a lot of things that you love. We've expressed some of your love for Taylor Swift on the latest Laurel's list, which you can check out here on the channel. But you also love the season of summer.
I do.
Is it your favorite season?
No, but
second favorite.
Second favorite. You know which one's my first favorite.
Fall.
Come on, it's Halloween. This is starting Summerween.
It's not even fall. It's Halloween.
Yeah.
I love it.
Summerween. You know, Summerween's coming up. This is a real thing. Summerween.
Come July.
Yes.
There's been Springween,
July.
Summerween.
I wait for July.
Winterween, everything.
Yes. So, no, I do love summer, though. I love that it stays light outside. I'm fine with the heat. I don't like the cold. because I'll keep the air. I turn to like 60 in the house, which John doesn't like, but it's fine.
Oh, I brought that up this week on the show too.
Oh, I'm sure.
If you've ever heard the statements opposites attract, this is a prime example of that. I want to get into some of the summer movie releases. Now, some of these are big movies that we've all heard about. Some of them a little bit smaller productions that I'm curious if you guys have any interest in just the premise. And then some of these are re-releases that are happening this year. But I picked a number of them to pinpoint, and I would love to get you guys to react to where we are with the marketing campaign with these and just do a snapshot of the pulse of whether or not these films are going to be successful. I want to start with the one that kicks off the summer movie season officially, and that is The Fall Guy from Universal. It's a love letter to stunt performers and a funny, slick send-up of the movie industry. That's what it's promoting itself as Ryan Gosling plays a veteran stunt guy who's enlisted to find a missing movie star, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, so that his crush, director Emily Blunt, playing a director in this movie, Emily Blunt, can finish her directorial debut. Laurel, you're obviously huge on Ryan Gosling. We have a Laurel Lunce's list up on that subject. Tell me whether or not this one will be a hit.
I think Ryan Gosling is like at a peak right now. Like ever since he hosted I think it started with Barbie, but like people have been obsessed with him hosting Saturday Night Live, and he got Emily Blunt in on it too. And I think both of them being in the Barbenheimer thing has really helped this movie. And they have really great chemistry. Like they've been killing it during all the interviews, doing all the press for it. And I think it's going to be a movie that anyone can kind of go see. Like I said, I think I've said this before, but it looks like a good date night movie, a good night that you can go with friends. If you're just thinking, hey, I'm kind of bored, I want to go to the movies, I don't want to see anything too depressing, this is it.
Movies, though, about the movie industry typically are tougher sells to general audiences. John, are you buying stock in The Fall Guy being a hit with audiences? We see it next week.
To be fair, one of the best sells has been La La Land, that then also starred Ryan Gosling.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I feel like.
I mean, sure, I guess, even though we've had a debate about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this week as well. I think it will do well because it's not so much the Hollywood part of it that is trying to be sold. It's the romantic part of it between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt for the females, and it's the action part of it because it's a stuntman who basically gets, into something where he has to actually live that out in real life. So there's action to it for the guys. So it is a perfect date night movie because it's not going to be overly violent, most likely. I mean, obviously we haven't seen it. It's not going to be like overly kissy, smoochy romance that guys aren't going to like.
Here's
it's
what
going to have
I'm
a little bit of all of it.
I'm concerned that because it has so many genres that a lot of people aren't going to pinpoint exactly what type of genre it is, and therefore it may be one of those things where people are hesitant to go out to see it, and they're going to wait for it to land on Netflix or something else, Peacock, to be able to watch this. Laurel, you brought up a great point. Because as host of the April 13th episode of Saturday Night Live, Ryan Gosling ended up bringing the show its biggest Peacock audience ever when accounting for 7 days of viewership. While an exact number of viewers is not available, the episode's 7-day total across all platforms is up to 8.9 million. That's up from the 1.7 million viewers who tuned in night of. Saturday Night Live is very much about how well does it continue to play after the live telecast. Right. And the Ryan Gosling episode has been crushing it, and it's become a cultural touchstone. And it goes to reemphasize what you've known all along, which is how versatile of a performer he is.
I feel like he's someone that men and women both really like. Like, I mean, women obviously know him from like The Notebook and La La Land, but I feel like men really like him too because he's been in Drive. He's in The Other Guy. There's a bunch of he is someone he's like a Leo, Bradley Cooper, those people that are just diverse that I feel like everyone likes them. And he's a really good comedic actor. I think that showed that on Saturday Night Live. Like, everyone loved the Beavis and Butthead skit. Like, that's the one where like even the people that are doing the skit with them are like laughing. So that should tell you that.
It's the first time I've had multiple people come up to me who I know don't care. Not that they dislike Ryan Gosling. They just don't care in general about, oh my gosh, Ryan Gosling's hosted. Come up to me and said, I know you've watched that SNL, right?
Yeah.
I actually have not watched the thing all the way through. I've seen the occasional skit on YouTube, but it's like, I know you've watched that. It was so good, and there's some of that big number that's making it climb up.
Tyler, you've talked to me about a lot of movies you're looking forward to. We're going to see The Fall Guy next week. Is it one of those movies you're looking very forward to?
I'm kind of lukewarm on this one, to be honest. Outside of a date night or just using up an extra ticket of the week, I don't think this is one I'd go out to see if it wasn't my job.
Gosh, we were talking about candles being burned, but now it's all the Fall Guy being burned by Tyler. I appreciate your honesty. You know, a lot of people talking about films these days, they feel like they've either got to be completely on board or they can't say anything at all. And so I appreciate you being honest about where it is. And I think when we walk out of it, there's a chance that Tyler, when he's doing his out of the theater reaction that's become so popular here on the channel, he may go like, guys, I went in with this expectation and it hit here for me. So we'll see. It's the Jobs movie. It's the Jobs movie. It's the movie's job now. I was watching John act that out for some reason. It's the movie's job
it was here
now,
and it went here instead.
To make Tyler a fan. So we'll see. We'll all look forward to that out of the theater reaction. Let's move on. I'm going to give you 2 movies. I'm going to give everybody 2 movies. You tell me which one you want to see more.
Okay.
The Idea of You, which is streaming on Amazon on the same day. Anne Hathaway plays a single mother in Los Angeles who begins a relationship with a younger pop star in this smart and charming romantic comedy. Or are you going to Netflix and watching Unfrosted with Jerry Seinfeld making his directorial debut with this film about the race between cereal rivals Kellogg's and Post to create a new pastry? Seinfeld stars alongside Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Amy Schumer, Hugh Grant, Max Greenfield, and many more. John, which one of these 2 movies are you more excited to see?
You may get to it, but can I vote for Phantom Menace instead? That comes out that week. Because I don't really care to see either one of them. Honestly, I probably choose.
That's why I asked that one. Yes, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, re-releases in theaters the same day.
I'm literally saying I'd rather go see a movie that everybody didn't like and say it's bad. Over those 2, I'd probably rather watch.
Can never play within the parameters of the game.
No, I'd probably rather watch The Idea of You, honestly.
Okay. That's the answer I was looking for 5 minutes ago. Tyler, which one of those 2 would you go with?
Probably Unfrosted.
And that's the most excitement you're going to get from Tyler over seeing Unfrosted.
I'm excited about both of these because I love Jerry Seinfeld. That's a fact. But I don't know if this is known. Tim, do you know about what this movie is? The Anne Hathaway movie? Do you know?
I don't know.
You're about to learn.
Oh, you're about to learn. It is based off Harry Styles fan fiction.
Oh, okay.
It is a real, and you know what? There have been 2 or 3 mainstream movies that have been about Harry Styles fan fiction that they have found, and they have adapted these into screenplays. So this is adapted from Harry Styles fan fiction.
Wasn't 50 Shades of Grey
Twilight.
I was about to say.
I was all about that too. Don't worry.
I thought it was a Meltdown triple threat trivia question I was asking.
I got it up, buzzing in.
Dang.
Hey, and guess who she loves more than anybody else too? Movies. Hayden Christensen.
So she loves Hayden Christensen. That's true.
That and Natalie Portman. I know he's not in episode 1, but just like I gotta go see episode 1, so that way when they re-release episode 2, I can go see that. So between that and the Fall Guy, it's a good weekend for Laurel.
So the Anne Hathaway one is one for me, and Hayden Christensen.
We got a movie about Pop-Tarts coming up. If you plan on chewing on some Pop-Tarts soon, visit my friends over at Alabama Dental Associates, which includes the most caring, compassionate, and understanding professionals in the business. This team, located on Grants Mill Road, Alabama Dental Associates, led by Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian. They're my dentists, and they should be yours. Make sure you feel at ease in the dental chair with a group of professionals that truly care about their patients. They have the best in dental health care equipment and provide the friendliest of experiences. I'm a patient. You should be one too. Call them at 205-956-8977 or visit alabamadental.com. No one wants to have to get a root canal, but let me tell you, it was the most pleasant root canal I've ever gotten. There at Alabama Dental, they look forward to seeing you. There's a couple of other smaller films that are also releasing on the day in which Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace releases, John. And that includes a film called I Saw the TV Glow from A24. It goes wide on May 17th, but it's in limited release during this time in early May. And this is a film that was a big breakout at Sundance, where realities blur for 2 teenagers watching a mysterious late-night television show. We already got Late Night with the Devil. It sounds like a premise that I would be interested in. Tyler Johns.
Yeah, I'm actually mildly interested in this one. I'm cautious about it because there's other movies that have tried to go this kind of route that didn't work out, but it reminds me of a lot of old creepypastas from like 2015, 2016-ish So I'll go see this one.
There's another movie trying to be creepy called Tarot. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Everyone wants to say tarot. I'm saying tarot. A horror about what happens when a group of friends use someone else's deck, which is apparently a big no-no in the world of tarot cards. Do you have any sort of history with tarot cards at all? Anybody in this room?
We got them in the house.
Okay.
Laurel's tried. I haven't really done much.
I've read your fortune before.
Yeah.
No, don't worry.
I
It's always positive. I don't ever do any negative ones. Those get shuffled back in the deck.
This guy's bleeding. I don't know what that means.
Ryan Brown was right. Okay.
It looks like Truth or Dare. That's what it reminds me of. Like the trailer reminds me
It
of
looks
that.
like stupid.
Okay.
There's a man. Not
You
a
and
level.
Tyler, Tyler is so eloquent with the words. Now, have you noticed this? Like Tyler's just like, I'm just not interested in this film. Like I have low standards.
I'm kind of in for us all the TV Globe, but Tarot, woof, no.
Wildcat is a movie where Ethan Hawke directs his daughter, Maya Hawke, in this unconventional, artful portrait of American author Flannery O'Connor. You have a film, and I'm going to butcher the name of this one, Jeanne Dubarry. Comes out May 2nd. It's a period drama about a working class woman who wins over King Louis XV, who's played by Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
That's why it's on the radar.
Okay.
You guys have seen the previews, right? Where you're like,
Yeah.
this doesn't look good, right? Am I right? Am I
No, it looks bad.
There was one before Challengers this week. It's like, what is that? I don't care.
I kind of think he's done. Honestly, I don't really see what. I feel like
It's time
everyone's
for his
still.
daughter instead.
I feel like everyone's too split on him. So,
And as John mentioned, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace,
but no Hayden
which
Christensen.
has a couple of great sequences that I would love to see on the big screen, but I'm not willing to sit through the whole movie to get there. On May 5th, a 35th anniversary re-release of Steel Magnolias. Anybody interested in this? Put on by Fathom
Nope.
Events?
Nope.
No? Okay. May 9th, Mother of the Bride. This is streaming on Netflix. Brooke Shields plays mother to Miranda Cosgrove in this romantic comedy about her daughter's engagement to the son of the man who broke her heart.
Is this like a father in the? Is this like a spinoff of that?
It sounds like it to me. I don't know for sure,
I
but
know
they're
that
calling
she
it
didn't
Mother
do
of the
it.
Bride.
That was not going to make the list on Lunce's list yesterday with Netflix movies.
But then May 10th, oh my gosh, Tyler, come on now. Let's get some energy
You thought we
going.
talked a lot about May 3rd.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes from 20th Century Studios, a.k.a. Disney. Generations after Caesar, apes have become the dominant species in this new installment directed by Maze Runner alum Wes Ball. Owen Teague stars as the young ape Noah, whose world is upended when an intelligent human, The Witcher's Freya Allen, arrives. I cannot wait for this movie. This is one of my most anticipated of the year. Let's get to it. This is my third most anticipated movie of the year.
This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year, too. I've already got my ticket for the early screener. I can't wait to see it. From the looks of the trailer, it looks like they might be sort of going back to the originals with the Forbidden Zone, and there's even a callback. I think the human's name is Nova. Is that right?
I
Think so?
think that's possible, but I know that the
Yes, it
ape's
is.
name is Noah.
May/Nova is what the official casting says.
There we go.
Okay. Well, we'll learn more from the film. We got a little bit of an extended look at the latest IMAX trailer that was released. Laurel, is this one resonating for you at all?
I will go see it. It looks very similar to what we saw in like Godzilla and Kong. But I mean, I've seen all the promo they've been doing for it. They've got people riding. Have you seen that? The promo that they've been doing for the movie?
Oh, yeah, they've got people just like walking around in full ape costume
they're
on
riding
horseback.
horses, yeah.
I have not seen that.
Yes,
I've
and
been
you know
stuck
what?
in this tiny studio.
Honestly, it looks pretty good. Like
It
it
looks
might be
great.
better than the CGI.
I've seen the strangers sort of, walking around and being
Oh
places.
yeah,
This is
the
when they
ring
get killed.
camera footage.
Yeah.
That's a good way to get killed.
We'll talk about that movie coming up here in just a little bit. But John, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, you just seem like you're more irritated by this movie, that you have to watch it, than you are excited to see it. And I don't understand it because you loved the last trilogy overall.
I like the first one the best. I liked the second one, but overall a step down. And then the third one was Streetwater Sour Cream.
Yes.
So no, I cannot say overall I like the trilogy because boy, it did not land the plane whatsoever. As Tyler drops things. I did like the Maze Runner trilogy of movies, which is the only thing that this director has done beforehand. I don't know if it was super well received. I mean, they finished it out. They didn't go full Divergent and just stop. But for, I guess, the young adult novels, I guess you classify the Maze Runner as that. I thought it was a decent premise, and I kind of liked it. it also kind of went downhill overall, but overall I probably liked it better than the Planet of the Apes trilogy. I don't know. I mean, I'll go see it. I'll be there opening night, or we'll go. I guess there's an early screening I heard y'all talking about. So
There is.
we'll go see that, and I'll probably walk out of it and be like, yeah, it was okay, which is higher than I'm going in. So, whatever.
You're making it sound like it's The Pits. Gasoline Rainbow comes out in theaters. It's probably in very limited release. Filmmakers Bill and Turner Ross direct this largely improvised road trip film about teenagers in Oregon searching for the party at the end of the world. That's all I know about Gasoline Rainbow, but it's on my radar. Lazarus. Ashley Judd stars in this thriller about a woman who adopts her nieces and raises them isolated in the woods.
Huh.
That's
Interesting.
potentially a good streaming project, but it is coming out on video on demand and theaters with a limited release there. Pool Man, Chris Pine's directorial debut, in which he plays a normal Los Angeles guy who's asked to do some sleuthing around a shady business deal. Got some scathing reviews
Did
out of
people
the...
walk out of it?
People have been very angry about this movie. People have thought this thing stunk at the Toronto International Film Festival.
We gotta go see it now.
But now you got a chance to judge for yourself. It's also got Annette Bening, Danny DeVito, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. So, it's going to be talked about, maybe just not positively. Pool Man in theaters.
It sounds like a Pauly Shore
Pool
movie.
Man.
Sounds like a character in Mystery Men.
It does.
Force of Nature, The Dry 2. Eric Bana is a federal agent investigating a missing corporate whistleblower. The Image of You, based on a best-selling thriller about identical twins pulled apart by a new love. And that also comes out on the same day. So, you have a bunch of new content there on May 10th. Let's jump to May 17th. This is a movie I cannot get excited for. We've talked about it a bunch, and every time I get less excited. The film is called If. It's a family film about a girl and her stranger's neighbor, played by Ryan Reynolds, her stranger's neighbor, that makes no sense. Her upstairs neighbor, my gosh, Ryan Reynolds, who can see all the imaginary friends, aka ifs. It's so clever that we've been hearing about it for months, who have been left behind, and was written and directed by John Krasinski. If has voices including Steve Carell, Emily Blunt, Maya Rudolph, Matt Damon. This is a stacked cast. There's a lot of people who believe in this thing. I am not one of them. I have not been sold on a single frame of this movie. John, tell me why I'm wrong.
I can understand it, but it's the best movie that's going to come out that weekend. And I would be willing to bet everybody.
Yeah, what's
here,
it up against? Strangers.
I would be willing to
Chapter
bet
1?
everybody here will agree with me.
It's up against The Strangers Chapter 1. It's up against Babes. It's up against Back to Black. It's up against the Blue Angels documentary.
Yeah, it's definitely
Which
best
are
movie of that weekend.
All movies I plan to get to here in a couple of moments.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like, those are all three decent wide releases movies. I mean, Amy Winehouse thing will be somewhat big.
I'll hate watch it because I've heard it's bad. But
The Strangers
doesn't look good.
The Strangers is a franchise that's already been around, and
Strangers
then
looks.
If is the
I will go see it.
one unique thing.
John, I hate when you're potentially right.
And it'll be the best thing that
I
weekend.
have a question, and I mean, this is not me trying to sound mean. And I've brought it up once before. Have you ever seen a movie where like the director is in like every aspect of like the trailer and like trying to? I just don't understand it.
Laurel hates John Krasinski.
I don't hate it. I just am confused as to like why this is a main like is John Krasinski that big of a draw?
John, can we have a side conversation here?
Yes.
Laurel is so into the marketing for the Fall Guy that she can no longer see John Krasinski as being the actual wife. Or sorry,
Correct.
actual husband of Emily Blunt.
Yes.
I
No,
can't
you're probably
speak to
right.
that.
It's been
right.
a long week.
It's been a long
No,
week.
you're probably right.
I mean, am I wrong? Is he really that big of a deal? That like
Here-
it's not
here-
like he's Spielberg.
Let me kind of go through the process here.
Take your time.
We watch The Office a lot. We have rewatched it many, many, many times. I think one of the things Laurel dislikes the most about The Office, everybody likes The Office, but the final season, the storyline between Jim and Pam, like every time Jim and Pam are on the screen, Laurel gets mad of how that storyline plays out with him
because
going.
it's irritating.
He goes off, if you quit watching after Steve Carell, he goes off and starts his company with a bunch of other people. Daryl comes and works for it. It's in Philadelphia. He has to be away from Dunder Mifflin, and basically they end up having a fight. She doesn't think he loves her anymore, and then they all end up coming back all kissy at the end. She hates that storyline.
I do.
And so we literally were finishing that up about the time we started getting promotion for both If and A Quiet Place.
And why
Day
I see
One.
the trailer for both of those?
And in
It's
both
just
of
too
those,
much.
when the trailer starts, the first thing you see is John Krasinski at the beginning of If, because every trailer, for the most part, starts with him and Ryan Reynolds or Randall Park and Ryan Reynolds doing a bit. Like, you're about to watch the trailer for If. Even in the theater, it's that way. And then, even though Ryan Reynolds is the main person
I barely
who's in
remember that Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. I barely remember that. All I see is John Krasinski.
And then you watch A Quiet Place Day One, which has nothing necessarily to do with that character.
Yeah, isn't that a prequel to the movie John Krasinski's in?
Okay.
Now, John Krasinski's alive during this. Let me first preface that because he's going to appear in the movie.
Yes, I am going to make a
no
bet.
doubt.
Like I guarantee you, he will find a way to be in this movie.
But, and it may just be a post-credit scene to set up how they first approach things when
He's
it
been handing a
happened.
bag to Lupita
But
or Eddie.
every trailer for A Quiet Place Day One, which we only have the kind of initial teaser right now, we'll get more because it'll come out later, and I'm sure we'll get to that. I don't know if it comes out in the summer or not.
You're good at getting to all the things we're going to get to, John.
But every time it's like day 475, and it's John Krasinski doing sign language at the table, and she's like, "Why is he on the screen? This movie's not about him." Every single time. So and then the cherry on top was at the Oscars when Oppenheimer is winning every award possible, of which Emily Blunt is one of the stars of, and was nominated for an Oscar, and they went up and presented an award, and then Cillian Murphy, I think it was Cillian Murphy, walked up behind them because they're all kind of sitting together to win his award, and he's like, stands up, goes over his wife, shakes hand, "Here, let me help you up to the stage," and it's like, "This isn't about you. Sit down," screaming at the TV to John Krasinski, and I'm like, what has Jim done to hurt you so bad? I mean, the last 6 months has just been John Krasinski is the worst human on the entire
I have
planet.
never said
and I don't
that.
know why.
I have never said that. It's just a lot. But back to the If.
Great segue. The If. That's what they should have called it, The If. I would much rather watch It Chapter 3 than If Chapter 1. Okay. Let's move on quickly.
I'm actually excited for If. I don't know about you
I am
guys.
too.
Tyler said
It's got like a Foster's
no
Home for
way.
Imaginary Friends vibe, and
Yes.
that's
Yes,
Cartoon
it
Network
does.
I grew up on.
Yes.
So I'm happy with this.
I mean, Tyler and I will go see this, and y'all can go see whatever.
I'll see the
stranger movie you
Strangers.
want.
Yes, I will gladly go see the Strangers.
it's so warm in here, I feel like the marshmallow whose eyes are falling off.
It is hot in here. I got animated right there.
Some of my words don't make sense. Bear with me. It's called The Meltdown for a reason. There's a movie on Netflix coming out the same day called Film of the Unicorn. It's an animated film about a pony whose dreams of becoming a pop star come true.
Oh.
It was written by Napoleon Dynamite duo Jared and Jerusha Hess. So there you go. You have the Blue Angels documentary, which Tyler, one of the funniest things about going to see Challengers was they showed the preview for this Blue Angels documentary, and some woman next to Tyler, I think, like, I don't know, did she grab you and assault you during this? Or she was so excited about the Blue Angels that she was just ecstatic.
Blue Angels.
Yeah, she was just so excited to see everything. I assumed that it was her first time back in the theater in
Out of
years
a coma, probably.
or
Yes.
something, because she sees the plane. She goes, "That's the Blue Angels." And then next trailer plays, she sees Channing Tatum's face, and she goes, "Ooh, Channing."
Ooh, Channing.
Just
Ooh,
kept
Channing.
going on the. You can get the director's commentary there, sitting where Tyler said, with the woman at Challengers. But if you're looking for something that scratches that Top Gun itch, this is the crowd they're going for. They're going. Top Gun was such a big hit. The Blue Angels, we're going to do the real
Glenn
deal.
Powell,
Glenn
your
Powell
favorite.
literally played for it.
You like Glenn Powell, though.
He exists. We'll see about Twisters. Oh, I did it again.
By the way, yes, John, you are somehow you spoil. Never mind, you spoil everything. The Blue Angels, by the way, you should know this. Directed by Paul Crowder, produced
Like Glenn Powell.
and
Tom Cruise.
no J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
That maybe that'll change your tune on it.
Nope.
Back to Black, which is the Amy Winehouse story from playing Amy Winehouse's Marissa Abella. It's a biopic about the rehab singer who died at the age of 27 in 2011. As you have Sam Taylor Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey who directs this film.
And she's married to
I
Aaron
don't-
Taylor Johnson.
Oh, there you go. This film doesn't look great, but I'm going to try to hold back my judgment.
I think
Until I
Lady
see it.
Gaga should have played her. Honestly,
Ooh,
and
that would've been a good pull.
I showed you clips. They look almost identical. Like when they both were starting out, that's the whole reason Lady
has black
Gaga
hair,
has
they
blonde
do.
hair. They looked identical.
I bet Joker was the better payday for.
I'm sure, but
The movie Babes comes out. We saw a preview for this, I believe, before Challengers. It's a comedy about an accidental pregnancy and the friendship and growing up and body stuff that happens during all of that. That's their description, not mine. That got rave reviews out of South by Southwest.
It looks funny enough.
it looks like Knocked Up,
Yeah.
like with like
It's like Knocked
girls.
Up and Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
That's fair. They even in the promotional campaign say it's the bridesmaids of pregnancy. And then The Strangers Chapter 1. Laurel, me and you, side conversation right now. I'm concerned this movie's going to suck bad.
No, I mean, I think it probably was going to be. If the last one's any indicator, I'm sure it's going to be bad. But I want to see it.
It's got the same tropes as all the others.
I wonder if they're going, because I keep seeing them trying to really talk about like the three people, like the strangers. Are they going to have are they going to talk any, or are they just going to be like whispering and doing the same stuff as they did in the other movies?
They're going to be looking for Tamara. We know that
Are we
for
going to
sure.
see who Tamara is? That girl Tamara?
I don't think we're ever going to see who Tamara is.
well.
I don't think they'll ever find Tamara, and it's going to
There's
be
going to be two more after this, though.
They shoot them all like back to back to back.
I think aren't they all coming out within like a couple of months time? Like I think they're all coming out this year.
This year?
I think so.
I didn't know
You can
that.
shoot me back to back to back because I don't want to see them.
Back to black.
Guys, we're all delirious at this point. We're all on a journey where we're tied by our delirium. May 19th through the 22nd, John, a re-release, the 65th anniversary of North by Northwest, coming out into theaters.
I guess I got to go see it.
This made Lunce's list of action movies you have to see before you die. It's a Fathom Events experience. Will you be seeing this in the theaters May 19th through the 22nd?
Sure, why not? Laurel's been saying I need to watch it for a long time. There's a list of Hitchcock movies I still need to watch, and it's probably near the top, so yeah.
May 24th, we get Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, as George Miller is back with another high-octane Mad Max take, focusing this time on a young Furiosa, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, and a warlord named Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth, who, John, you've been very critical of when it comes to the profile of his teeth.
Teeth. He talks, oh my God, teeth.
You look like Tim Allen being shocked in Home Improvement. That's what you look like to me.
Yeah.
This is a movie that you're much more excited to see, I believe, Tyler.
Yeah, so I was excited for this when we saw the first trailer when we went to go see Argyle. I believe EG said that was she was subjected to watching that trailer.
No, she hates this thing.
Yeah.
It's like Laurel watching If.
But I love it. Even with the song, they used "The Man Who Sold the World" by David Bowie, a cover of it, and it just sets the mood, and it looks amazing to me.
We're going to keep moving on because we're not even through May, and I'm going all the way through August. So here we go. I'm going to go rapid fire.
Okay.
The Garfield movie with Chris Pratt. This thing looks awful. This thing looks like it could be.
The popcorn bucket looks like the best part of the movie. Have you guys
I
seen
haven't
it?
seen the popcorn bucket.
Chris
Is it Garfield's
Pratt was
butt?
like,
No, it's just Garfield with a big tub of popcorn. And you put the popcorn in Garfield's tub of popcorn.
Tyler,
Wow,
buy that?
man.
No, that's a Cinemark exclusive,
I feel like
so
Chris Pratt
I can't get
has
that one.
fallen. Am I wrong?
What?
I feel like Chris Pratt has fallen. Like I feel like
You're
he
not
was,
wrong.
And what?
but I feel like he used to be doing actual movies, like starring in movies. Not these are just cartoons.
He's getting huge checks for all of this work for sure. And he's got a huge fan base for sure. Atlas is a movie that's coming out starring Jennifer Lopez as a skeptical data analyst. This will be on Netflix. It'll be streaming. Who must learn to trust artificial intelligence to save humanity. There's a preview out for it. I have yet to click on it. I don't know. Jennifer Lopez feels like it hasn't
sounds
been
like
her
a
best
Tropic
year.
Thunder movie.
Sure.
Am I wrong? It sounds like a Tropic Thunder movie.
There's a movie called Sight from Angel Studios. This is the studio behind Sound of Freedom, which is about an eye surgeon who wants to restore a blind child's vision. Stars Terry Chin and Greg Kinnear. There's a movie coming out on May 31st called Robot Dreams. It's an Oscar-nominated animated charmer about a dog who builds himself a robot companion that's getting a theatrical release in the U.S. for the first time. It's from Neon, and it will end up releasing May 31st.
I do want to watch that one.
Young Woman in the Sea. This is Daisy Ridley playing the first woman to swim across the English Channel. It's a Disney film. This woman, Trudy Ederle, won gold at the Olympics in 1924 and finished the 21-mile trek in 1926. The inspirational drama arrives just in time for the Summer Olympics, so expect some tie-in there. There's a documentary coming out on Disney Plus called Jim Henson Idea Man, as Ron Howard takes us inside the man behind the Muppet Show and countless other entertainments in a new documentary. That's probably going to be pretty darn good on Disney Plus. Ezra, this is from Bleecker Street. It's a story about a down-on-his-luck father, played by Bobby Cannavale, who's fighting to protect his young autistic son. It also features Robert De Niro and Whoopi Goldberg in this drama from Tony Goldwyn. The Dead Don't Hurt. This is a Western from the 1860s with Viggo Mortensen, where a divided and fractured American West ends up leading to Viggo Mortensen enlisting to fight for the Union and his love being left behind to defend herself in a corrupt frontier town. You also have the movie Summer Camp, starring Diane Keaton, Kathy Bates, and Alfre Woodard. They are childhood friends who meet again at a camp reunion. Backspot is a film about an ambitious cheerleader with Evan Rachel Woods being her demanding head coach. It's from XYZ Films, coming out in theaters. You have a lot of smaller films, including a corporate thriller based on real events about a group who goes up against a pharmaceutical company in Protocol 7. You have an undead golem pursuing teens on vacation in the horror movie In a Violent Nature. You have a documentary about a filmmaker's attempt to revive the New Jersey record store he worked at as a teen called Flipside, and a documentary about the first female president of Taiwan called Invisible Nation. That rounds out.
Did you say an undead golem?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it too.
Is that what you said?
I was thinking Smeagol.
Change that for
That's what it says.
It's Golem.
An undead golem pursues teens on vacation in this horror. I apologize, guys.
Pretty sure it's Golem anyway.
You're probably right.
It's Golem.
Golem, yes.
Yeah, I believe that's Golem.
Now
I
we know.
call him better though.
My precious.
I was interested in it with Undead Golem.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is like a Lord of the Rings spinoff. I know there's a movie coming out later this year.
I'm sure I'm the first person who's made that mistake. You guys are just brutal. Absolutely brutal. I don't know which one's worse, the heat in the studio or the heat I get off of y'all. It's torturous. There's a Muppet movie anniversary re-release, 45th anniversary of the Muppet movie, June 2nd. Hitman is a movie that I'm sure you have some strong opinions about, Laurel. Stars Glenn Powell. It's coming to Netflix. It's gotten glowing reviews from fall festivals, but have you seen anything on Hitman?
I saw the poster. The poster, I feel like, is not... People are like, the poster isn't doing this justice because the poster... John, I sent it to John. He said, like, Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise. The poster is just Glenn Powell in a bunch of really stupid, like, wigs and glasses and stuff. It's like, you know, the scene from The Office, to go back to Jim, where Dwight has the wigs of everybody so he can pretend to be anybody in the office, and he turns around and he's like, you know, like Meredith, and then there's like Stanley with all his wigs. That's exactly what it looks like. There's one, he looks like Andy Samberg trying to be funny in this movie, and it's going to be really bad.
Glenn Powell on fire right now with a lot of hype, and we'll see if it delivers. We'll get to Twisters in a second, John. I know you can't wait. Bad Boys Ride or Die also comes out in early June. The trailer didn't look that bad, but this is Will Smith, his first real test after the slap incident.
I think he's like trying to go back to like our generation that like loved him, which I have no problem. I like Will Smith. When I saw him performing at Coachella, coming down to like Men in Black, I was like, oh, he's like really trying to appeal to like his like old audience. I think this movie's going to do. I think the movie looks pretty good.
It doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. June 14th, we've got Inside Out 2, set to be one of the biggest movies of the summer season. John, Inside Out 2 has the chance to gross a ton of money and be a massive hit for Disney if they can convince audiences they need to see it in the theater.
Yeah, I know Disney sends things to Disney Plus quickly, but, you know, they should say, hey, we're only going to put on Disney Plus on our rotating channel, so you got to see potentially where it falls. I think it's going to be good. I think I've seen more of like the behind the scenes, how they ultimately did this, not just like from the animation standpoint, but how they crafted the story and everything that happens within it. And it seems like they've done their work on building a second version of the story years down the road.
If you'd like to feel better about yourself, both inside and out, we recommend you go see Leslie and her board-certified team at Way to Wellness, John.
Yeah, you can see Tim right here weighing in. I'm weighing in here with Leslie and her friends at Way to Wellness. Go to aplanforme.com. You too can get a customized plan like I have, like Tim has, like Jim Dunaway has, like my dad has. It's a whole family and friends affair there at Way to Wellness. You see Tim getting his paperwork there, getting his blood pressure done, always posing for the camera really well. And then you see me doing the same thing, looking off into space. Laura knows exactly what that's like. And look at Tim, happy that we have lost weight there with Way to Wellness. So go to aplanforme.com, learn more about Leslie and her whole board certified team, and get that consultation. And you too can get on a plan with our friends at Way to Wellness.
This is a perfect setup, John, for me to talk about this next movie because I'm looking right at the camera. This one's called The Watchers. Dakota Fanning plays an artist who gets stranded in a forest in Western Ireland with mysterious creatures lurking in the night. This film is from the daughter of M. Night, Shana Night Shyamalan. Very excited about this one, Laurel.
Yes, we got like a summer of Shyamalan here. Like, I'm very excited.
Summer of Shyamalan.
Is
Not
that
always
correct?
a good thing, but
No,
yeah,
I'm
we
very
do.
excited. I think this is going to be, it looks good. I think it's based off a book. I know with his last movie, I know that this is his daughter doing it, but I'll be curious to see how they change from the book and see what differences there are. But it looks good. We got a good cast. Looks interesting.
June
Different.
21st. This is the weekend of my birthday. The Bike Riders comes out. It's one of my most anticipated. Jeff Nichols trying to capture the spirit of a Midwestern motorcycle club in the 1960s. This stars Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, and the guy we just saw in Challengers, Mike Feist, who's in this. I hope I'm saying that name right. It's inspired by Danny Lyon's 1967 photo book about the Outlaws Motorcycle Club.
That's who Mike Face plays, is him, Danny Lyons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm super hyped on this one. Tyler, I feel like you're more in my camp for the Bike Riders being something that's going to deliver.
Oh, yeah, this looks really good. I've only gotten to see the trailer once in theaters. They played it before Dune 2 one time that I went to see it in Prime, but this looks great. I love the FX show Sons of Anarchy, so I'm down to get into another motorcycle gang property.
Laurel, if you're into this, I need you to get John into it because he seems sort of
I
lukewarm.
thought you were
on it.
interested in it.
Seems
I'll go see it. It
lukewarm
seems
on it.
okay.
Well, we'll pull him into
Okay.
the right direction.
I'm really excited about this A24 movie that's coming out called Janet Planet. It goes wide on June 28th, but it officially comes out that weekend. As you have a tale of an 11-year-old girl and her mother in Western Massachusetts during one summer. It looks like it's set in the 90s, and I'm all for that aesthetic, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle this. It's gotten some rave reviews, so I'm excited about that. June 23rd, 25th anniversary sing-along of South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Are you breaking things, or are you just excited about it?
Excited about South Park.
The mic clip fell out.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
also excited about seeing South Park because I'll be at that re-release.
Nice. That's June 23rd. There's a documentary coming out on June 25th that's streaming on Amazon called I Am Celine Dion. It's a behind-the-scenes look at Celine Dion's life now, living with the rare neurological disorder stiff person syndrome. That is set to be very, very captivating, I'm sure, on Amazon. On June 28th, A Quiet Place Day 1. We don't want to trigger Laurel any further than we have. We've pretty much already talked about this. I'm looking very forward to this. Lupita Nyong'o is going to be the main driver of this vehicle, John, and I think it's going to work. I think going back in
Looks
time and
good.
showing day one is going to be effective.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the story of A Quiet Place Day 1. John Krasinski loves putting himself in all of these, like I mentioned, so we'll see if he appears in there. I imagine he probably will. Lupita Nyong'o will be good. Eddie from Stranger Things, Joseph Quinn. Laurel mentioned he's always running for his life in the trailers, so hopefully he gets a little moment of peace before the aliens actually crash down and make everything go to hell.
This one not directed by John Krasinski, but directed instead by Michael Sarnowski, who directed the movie Pig with Nicolas Cage.
Good movie.
Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1. This feels like a movie that's taking a big gamble because Chapter 2 comes out just a few weeks later. This is the Kevin Costner Civil War Western that is going to either be something people are way into or would never consider seeing in the theater.
I feel like the Western phase we were in died pretty hard, and we're
I
back
think
into
so, too.
sci-fi.
Yeah.
It
I feel
died
like
with
it's
Kevin
done.
Costner, too. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like Yellowstone
yeah.
was like it for a hot moment, and then it's kind of fallen off lately. Kevin Costner, hard pass. We'll see.
There's a movie called A Family Affair, and even though Nicole Kidman says it's best to see movies at AMC, this one's on Netflix. as Joey King is in this movie, who I believe dated Jacob Elordi for a short time.
From The Kissing Booth, which is also on Netflix.
I know a lot about Joey King. There's also Zac Efron.
Also, she was the young
version of Taylor Swift in her music video. Yes.
she was the young version of Marion Cotillard in The Dark Knight Rises when the kid is in the pit and coming up.
Yeah.
That's Joey King. So,
But she also plays the young
Pittsburgh.
version of Taylor Swift in her main video.
sure.
And she was Gypsy Rose Blanchard in a
There we
Hulu
go.
limited series.
Okay.
There you go.
John, if there was ever a time to push the button, now's the time.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
There we go. There's also a movie called Last Summer. Anne and Pierre's life is lovely in Paris while raising their daughters until her stepson Theo moves in and begins an affair with her. Theo! I feel like,
Wait, begins an affair with the mom?
yeah,
The stepson is having the affair with the mom.
that's what it sounds like.
So not her
Not
kid.
the girls, but the, okay.
I thought it was the girls.
This is from production companies Sideshow and Janus Films, which will come out in theaters in limited release. So help me real quick here, Tyler. Blue Lock, the movie episode Nagi. Did I mess that up?
So I don't know what the subtitle of it is, but that would be the Blue Lock movie. Blue Lock is a
She was not an
series.
X in there somewhere.
That was good, John.
Sorry.
Blue Lock is a soccer anime that's had a
God.
lot of hype around it recently. I have not watched it though.
It's like some basketball anime I found on Netflix the other day.
Slam Dunk's one of the most
I saw
critically
you left it
acclaimed
on
ones,
there.
but you could have also seen Kuroko's Basketball, which is
I don't know what it was, but it's like I don't want to watch an anime about basketball. I don't want to watch it about soccer or whatever you said.
Slam Dunk's like one of the most highest selling manga of all time. It's really good.
I just wanted a brief reaction, but we got that. Despicable Me 4 comes out July 3rd through the 5th, set to be the biggest movie of the Independence Day weekend as Gru and his minions are back with a new baby in the mix. Put out by Universal. John, you have this as being arguably in the running for highest grossing movie of the year.
I put it number one on Lunce's list, so I guess I'm not arguing it. I'm saying it is going to be there. I think this is the biggest reason why is that it's coming out that weekend. Really, the only other competition is the other movie you're going to name, but it ain't going to be much competition when it comes to money.
And I'm not arguing with you being with that being number one movie of the year.
I don't want to spoil what you're about to say next.
I'm not. What I'm about to say next is on Netflix, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F comes out 40 years after Axel Foley crossed jurisdictions. You've done this all episode. You have predicted the future in a very demanding
Well, I was wrong
and
this time,
damaging
so there
way.
you go.
Cross jurisdictions to investigate a crime. Eddie Murphy back for a fourth film alongside Judge Reinhold and Paul Reiser. I'm not excited about this in the least bit, but I'm sure there's a lot of Beverly Hills Cop fans that are very excited about this. And then you have Maxine that comes out, and Laurel, I'm eating this up. The trailer's
It's so
great.
good.
It is
Tyler
so good.
agrees. Tim agrees. John doesn't agree, but that's okay. You'll still be going to see it.
You can stay home and watch
I'm not
Axel.
disagreeing. I just don't.
You can
care.
go watch the Minions.
I will.
Okay.
July 12th, Fly Me to the Moon. This is Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum starring in a romantic comedy about a
Channing.
marketing executive hired by NASA to fake the moon landing just in case. Whenever you have a shot, Tyler, take it. That was good. That was good. There's also the movie Sing Sing, probably the one you're more excited about. A24 release. Coleman Domingo stars in this movie about incarcerated men begin acting in a theater group, which also sounds like the plot to Joker 2.
It's too early, but this is my A24 future pick right now. But it's too early to officially go all in.
It's gotten a lot of buzz, and the Fall Festival breakout is set to debut then July 12th. July 19th, I think it's going to be one of the biggest movies of the year, one of the biggest surprises maybe. Twisters. Glenn Powell in this, and it's about storm chasers that are in the standalone sequel to the 1996 blockbuster. I don't know how much of the DNA of that original movie this one's going to share, but it'll be interesting to see how they decide to sell it. Let's see here. You have a re-release of The Never-Ending Story. It's a 40th anniversary re-release coming out July 21st. July 26th, though, that's the big one. Deadpool and Wolverine. You got our full trailer reaction up on the channel. We recommend you check that out for all of our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. But I think this will be the highest grossing movie of the summer. I think this movie will pass $1 billion. That's where I'm at right now on it. But it's got to be good and it's got to deliver. But I think the buzz is going to be insurmountable, and this is going to be something that's going to pass $1 billion at the global box office.
So that's the good thing about Despicable Me. It doesn't have to be good.
Doesn't have to be good.
100%. That movie will do bonkers numbers internationally.
August 2nd on Apple TV Plus, The Instigators. Doug Liman directs this comedic heist movie starring Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, and Hong Chow. And this is going to be a star-studded event there August 2nd. It comes out in theaters August 9th. It goes to streaming Apple TV Plus. You've got Cuckoo from Hunter Schafer starring in this unnerving blood-soaked thriller set in the German Alps. Dan Stevens, once again, pops up again in another movie playing her father's creepy boss. August 9th, Trap. Come on now, let's bring it.
Summer of Shyamalan, come on.
This movie's going to be great. You also have Borderlands coming out. After a few years of delays, Eli Roth's colorful action-adventure Borderlands, based on the video game, is barreling to theaters, starring Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart.
Jamie Lee Curtis going up against a horror movie that weekend. How about that?
There you go. August 16th, Alien Romulus. I'm very excited. It also goes up against Horizon and American Saga Chapter 2. I'm very excited for Alien Romulus.
Alien looks good.
Alien, our next retro trailer reaction. Cannot wait for that. August 23rd, Blink Twice. This is the Zoe Kravitz movie. She's making her directorial debut with Channing Tatum, starring as a...
Channing.
Fell for it that time. Starring as a Jeffrey Epstein type character. From what I see,
it looks like a mix of Don't Worry, Darling, Get Out, what's the Knives Out. It looks like a bunch. I mean, I want to see it though. It looks good.
Also coming out that weekend is The Crow that moved because it didn't want to go up against Bad Boys 4.
I know what I'm saying.
Oh, now it's going to make money.
Guys, I think The Crow looks decent, and I know everyone is crapping on it, but I'm kind of looking forward to The Crow.
Blink Twice looks a lot better.
We'll see how it works. 70th anniversary of Rear Window re-release.
That's another.
Out.
Have you seen that one, John?
No, that's one. I've even.
All right,
you dressed up as?
I've even dressed up and reenacted sitting at the window in my wheelchair. But this is going to be the summer of watching Hitchcock movies.
Yeah.
I can tell.
You have a movie called Reagan, where Dennis Quaid plays Ronald Reagan in this childhood to White House biopic. It's the first full-length film about the 40th U.S. president. Comes out August 30th. And finally, to end our summer movie preview, the movie that everyone expects to be bad, Kraven the Hunter. Oh. This is another
like a year later.
Another R-rated comic book movie.
There's no way this can be worse than Madam Web, right?
I mean, not a high bar. They literally just have to take a step, shuffle their foot, and they step over the bar.
We went to Universal in Hollywood last August. It was about to come out then because we saw all the posters and everything for it.
I'm assuming it was a strike deal. I don't know, but literally, because they marketed it a lot last year, and literally all marketing has disappeared off the planet. Granted, Madam Web is not helping things, but y'all can tell me all about it.
This movie could cost Aaron Taylor Johnson a real shot at James Bond.
I hate that.
And we'll see where they go with that character, but everyone thought it was a done deal. And by everyone, I mean the Sun who reported it, and it really wasn't. John, it's now time for another edition of Lunce's List. I have tasked you with this, and that is, what are Zendaya's 5 projects that you consider to be the most high quality? We're ready to go ahead and get to the list right now.
What is this? What is this? Lunce's List, Lunce's List, oh. What is this? What is this? Lunce's List, Lunce's List, oh. Lunce's List to 5. Lunce's List to 5. Lunce's List to 5. Lunce's List to 5.
All right. Here we go. Lunce's List. Challengers out in theaters right now. It's a movie we all recommend, and it's one that stars Zendaya. She is one of the biggest stars on the planet, a huge social media following. And John, you've been following her career for a while now, and you're a big fan of a lot of stuff that she's done. The question I have asked you is, what are those 5 things that you're the biggest fan of? Because it actually can get kind of difficult to narrow it down to where everything is positioned.
Yeah, I kind of cheated on this list a little bit, and you'll see how I cheated. I won't say it yet, but...
Shocker.
Did you list multiple seasons of Euphoria?
No.
Did you put Gotta Kick It Up? Casey Undercover?
No.
We're going to see what he put on there.
I'm just going to go to the list.
Yes, that's a smart idea. When in doubt, don't wave the white flag, go to the whiteboard. At number 5... Zendaya projects that you think are the highest of quality.
Same as
The OA. If I have to hear about this show one more time,
it's the same. No, you're still watching the Friday version of Lunce's List. But when I mentioned the OA on Netflix, I really liked it. That Zendaya was a part of this show. She's only a part of season 2, so I'm gonna say just season 2 of the OA. But it's a really good show, and she is a feature player there in season 2. And I really like the show. I tried to explain it yesterday. Y'all didn't know what it was, so I'm really not gonna try to explain it again. It's good. Just go to Netflix, watch the trailer. If it intrigues you, watch it. If not, find something else.
I would say go to yesterday's Lunce's List and then see if it intrigues you,
I'd
and
almost
then
just say,
go to Netflix.
because y'all hated my explanation of it, I would just say go watch the trailer and then come see my explanation if you want to know a little more.
Okay. Let's go to number 4 on Lunce's List.
Is
You know,
there,
the OA, for it to be such a great show, it sure does land at number 5 a lot.
is there a music video on the list?
Music video is number 6. I have an honorable mention that I've mentioned. It's not her. It's not one of her songs, though.
I know.
Is it Bella Thorne?
What is it? Laurel, fill us in.
Bad Blood. It was a whole cast of everyone famous at that time, including
That's
Zendaya.
not it, but yeah, she was in that too.
Is it another music video? Gotta Kick It Up, season 2. She was on a show with Bella Thorne, in case anyone knows. Bella Thorne, I think she's on OnlyFans.
I can tell this is hurting you, Laurel. I can tell you're like, what in the world is he thinking with all of this?
Oh, I forgot she was in
I
this
actually
movie.
didn't like this movie, but I'm also not a musical
I also thought
person.
she was like way too young. I thought she was too young for Zac Efron. But
The Greatest Showman ended up becoming a hit. It had a week 1, and then it just grew and grew and grew and grew. Movies don't typically work like that at the box office.
I enjoyed it. Is it the greatest movie of all time? No. Is it Hugh Jackman's best movie? No. Is it Zendaya's best movie? No. Is it Zac Efron's best movie? No. We've actually seen a lot of that from both Zendaya and Zac Efron this year, or within the last 6 months. But I like the music in it, done by the same crew that did La La Land. When it comes to the music, it has continued to have a life. I feel like socially, like on social media, everybody continuing to listen to the music from now on is a song you see all the time on TikTok and everything. And I really liked it. Honestly, the one part I didn't like was Rebecca Ferguson, who may or may not appear on this list again, but she did not do it for me in that movie. She was the only person that didn't actually sing in the movie either. She was supposed to be an opera singer, and they had a voiceover for it. So that whole part kind of dampened the movie for me, but I really liked her and Zac Efron's dynamic. I liked Hugh Jackman with pretty much everybody. Michelle Williams, I can kind of take her leave in general, but it was a good movie.
The Greatest Showman at number 4. Soundtrack did really good sales too. The Pink version of that song was all over the radio. So The Greatest Showman at number 4, definitely an impactful movie. Surprised we haven't already gotten a sequel.
The Brendan Urie.
Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco version of The Greatest Show, the actual song from it, really, really good too.
Let's go to number 3 on Lunce's list as we're counting down the 5 Zendaya projects
speaking
that are the best.
of Disney, and since we're talking about Zendaya and Zac Efron, does anyone think it's weird that Zac Efron didn't sing in the first High School Musical, even though he's a singer? Did anyone not know that?
Honestly,
I didn't know.
Honestly, haven't seen the first High School Musical.
Tim,
I'm sorry.
But he does sing in the other ones,
Which
and
is
he
weird,
Sang
right?
in The Greatest Showman, and
So
he has
this
sung multiple
is how
times.
you're cheating. You're just putting them all in one.
Correct. The Spider-Man trilogy, and the next 3 will all be this way. The Spider-Man trilogy is good. I probably like it best only because of the MCU tie-ins. That's kind of cheating when you're just comparing the Spider-Man of like, is Tobey's one the best? Is Andrew Garfield's one the best? Or is Tom Holland's one the best? Tom Holland's is because of the tie-ins to everything, but Zendaya's probably 3rd of the leading female characters because I feel like people would go Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone, Zendaya, just in terms of those movies. I mean, Emma Stone's above all in general when it comes to acting, but that's not to say that they're bad. I have liked all of the Spider-Men for the most part. Spider-Man 3 is probably my least favorite of all of them, including Andrew Garfield's, but overall, as the trilogy, this one is the best, so I would put her.
Which, by the way, kind of strange you mention all those names. Emma Stone obviously is the reigning Best Actress winner. Kirsten Dunst is currently at the top of the box office with Civil War, and Zendaya is about to be at the top of the box office with Challengers.
Already
Now,
was with Dune.
I know, John, that I know what's going to fill these last 2 spots. I want you to go ahead and get to number 2. No, go ahead and go ahead and do 2 and 1 because it's not going to be a secret to where you're going to go here.
Okay.
But there's one that I'm surprised is not on the list, and I'm going to ask if you feel the same way or not.
I'm going through her filmography. I didn't know she was the voice of Lola Bunny in the new Space Jam.
I forgot about that.
I never watched the new Space Jam.
There was a lot of outrage about the way that they
that one.
portrayed Lola Bunny in the second Space Jam, and I was like,
I don't
guys,
even
it's a
remember.
cartoon
Yeah.
bunny. They were upset that they made the bunny not as attractive.
Other people were upset that they included the characters from A Clockwork Orange in there, which is fair.
If it exists within the properties they own, it was in Space Jam 2 or Space Jam: A New Legacy, whatever they call it.
So at number 2, you have number 2. Good gosh, I'm losing my mind. At number 2, you have Dune, which would include part 1 and part 2.
Correct.
At number 1, you have Euphoria, which would include season 1 and season 2.
Correct. And the specials, which is ultimately what
Mid-season
puts it at number 1. So they did 2, and it was a COVID thing, but they did 2 specials, and one focused on Zendaya's character, one focused on Hunter Schafer's character. The Zendaya episode, the entire episode is her and Coleman Domingo sitting in a diner talking, and it sounds super boring, but it was incredible. It's one of the best episodes of television I've seen. I think it has helped Coleman Domingo. You mentioned Sing Sing. I said that's my front runner right now. He's the star of that. Was nominated for an Oscar last year. You mentioned all the people being nominated. Emma Stone, your reigning champ. Coleman Domingo nominated last year. Kirsten Dunst nominated a couple of years ago for Power of the Dog and is currently leading the box office. Zendaya, it's coming. And I don't know that like Challengers is going to be it necessarily. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But it's coming for her. Euphoria, it's already happened, which is another reason why it's number 1. But I'm curious to see from the movie side of things when that's going to come for her because it will come at some point.
Okay. Challengers was available to be put on this list, but did not make the cut for you.
It did not because I do want to see it again. I do want to kind of let the legacy of it play out a little bit. The OA is more of like I'm going to fight people that don't like this show kind of show that like I've watched and been obsessed with. The Greatest Showman has way more star power that I like it. I'd probably give it about a 4.5. Like I really like that movie. Rebecca Ferguson's the one thing I said that took it out, which she was also in Dune and was better in Dune than she was in that. Challengers, I'm going to let breathe for a little bit overall.
If you want to feel euphoric about having a Dune full of money,
Oh God.
and experience some of the greatest shows that you possibly can as a man, we recommend you visit our title sponsor. That's MyBookie. How was that? You didn't see that one coming, did you?
You can buy your own web slingers like Spider-Man.
Yes. And then you can afford the bills that the HOA sends you with all of your winnings. I'm getting worse at this, John.
Go to mybookie.ag, use promo code next round. Get that first deposit bonus. Go play in that casino. It's cool. My number 6, by the way, was the music video from Bruno Mars for Versace on the Floor, which if you expected a certain thing from Challenger, go watch that music video instead. And that will give it to you. I love that song from Bruno Mars. There's a country singer, it's Kane Brown. Is that his name?
There is a Kane Brown country singer, yes.
He did a cover of this for Spotify. They do like those Spotify singles. Incredible. That's actually what got me into it. And then I listened to the Bruno Mars version. Incredible. A lot of versions of those. But the whole music video is basically Zendaya dancing in a hotel room, taking all of her clothes off. But it's still a music video. It's not like it's, you got to go to a special site to watch it or anything. But
Where can I find it?
YouTube.com, which is also where you can find The Meltdown. Go to MyBookie. Promo code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate everybody being a part of today's episode as we went through the entire summer. It feels like we have been through the entire summer already, but we're all excited to go to the Cineplex. Hope to see you there. Let us know in the comment section below what movies you're excited to see over the next few months. It's going to be slim pickings for the remainder of the year, but we're going to get everything revved back up for 2025, and we'll be here to cover it all on The Meltdown. Make sure you like and subscribe.